talks about Armada 2.0, I swear to God I will come for you.
Saying that they are surprise mechanics, and people love surprises.
To get a Baneblade, the plastic Baneblade, to sell in the store at ROE Games, 19 Park Lane, Havelock. Come by, see us.
Aoski here, and this is By the Numbers.
This week we're going to be going over character creation for Wrath and Glory.
My name is Keith, or you can call me ArmorBoy21. That's my gaming deck. Today we're going to learn D&D.
Oh, hello there. Your armor, sir?
Boom!
You take 7 points of damage.
Alright guys, we're rocking out really hard tonight. So what we got going on is Grease.
There will be swearing and or shenanigans of the adult nature.
God damn it!
Good evening, everybody. How are you this evening? We are back with another edition of Gamer Interrupted. My name is AJ East Coast, and as always, we have tonight with us a couple new faces. We have with us Griffin, who has started our streaming series, and our special guest, Mr. Samuel Gonzalez of Hybrid ATX. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, Austin?
I'm doing good. Sam, how about you?
I'm good. It's been a long day, but I'm here and I've got coffee, so I think I'll be all right.
It's always important.
So, Sam, we have you here tonight. You have a very interesting summer camp that you've been put together. Could you tell us about the name of it, all that stuff, where it's located, things like that?
Tell you about the summer camp?
Yeah, so just tell us what the name is, where it's located, things like that.
Okay, so it's called Hybrid. The website is hybridatx.com because we are in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
We started with Hybrid ATX because we thought that it was going to be locally. We thought it was just going to be in local venues. But whenever coronavirus happened, we were forced to move online, which surprisingly was a pretty easy transition because gamers. So now we do virtual only, and we dropped the ATX to go nationwide.
Okay, so the official new name of your camp is Hybrid. What's the...
That's it. It's
just Hybrid. Yeah. So what are the...
I was really shocked when I found Hybrid LLC.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yes.
I'll take it. So Sam, what are the age groups for your summer camp?
So it goes from 10 to 15, and we split them up from 10 to 12 and 13 to 15. So we have a junior and a senior group. Okay.
And now, in a perfect world before coronavirus, what kind of activities were your kids doing day to day? Let's start with the younger ones first.
So in a perfect world, actually is pretty close to what we're actually doing. So again, because we're already familiar with a lot of the technologies that exist, putting together a virtual camp that is as close to a real camp as possible was actually not too difficult. So we still do fitness. We still have lessons that I do virtually. I'm trained in education, so I've already got a lot of tools in my belt on how to tackle that. So we start the day off with a little bit of exercise, a little bit of fitness, get the blood flowing, get them up out of their chairs, let them know that camp has officially started. You are here, you know.
Griffin, I see you smiling there about the fitness and stuff.
Hey, you know me, man. I'm always about the fitness added, man. I thought that was a really cool idea that you guys brought aboard in that Hybrid. I was reading about it, man. I ain't never seen anything like it. Like I told you before, your guys' idea is brilliant to me. You know, and I'm always adamant about that fitness. So we got any of those job opportunities, you send them my way.
Griffin, would you say that, you know, down south, or not down south, I'm sorry, but at the younger age, you know, with fitness, do you think that's the highest importance at the young age? Like, what age do you think, you know, kids really need to start looking into taking physical fitness seriously?
where I come from, we're taught, fitness is all right.
Mm-hmm.
But what they're instilling is, you should take care of yourself, and that's something I always preach. I'm always adamant about fitness. I have ever been since I was 14. I was that stereotypical kid in high school who before the actual grade school years, I'm talking about middle school, I was that loser guy, who just, wanted to get by, and then I touched a weight one day, and it was game over from there.
Nice, man. Well, yeah, so Sam, besides the physical fitness, what's the other activities after you start with the getting kids out of the chairs and things like that?
So we do the fitness, let them know camp has started. We have we alternate between a fitness and a flexibility routine. We try to do the same routine every day so that they know what's coming and they remember it. And towards the end of the week, for the kids who've been there a while, I'll actually give them the authority now to run the workout. And the idea there is that if they do the same workout, that then they will remember it and they'll be able to do it on their own time without looking for any resources, trying to hit me up or message anybody. They just have it in their heads now and they can do it whenever they want. So it's about giving them the tools. So after the fitness, we move into a gaming lesson. Now this looks totally different. During orientation, which is like an introduction to the program and what we do.
So going back onto the workouts real quick, I just want to know, what kind of workouts do you guys specifically do?
So for the fitness routine, we do 15 minutes, and it's jumping jacks, squats with a calf raise, push-ups, sit-ups, dead bugs, plank kicks, and bird dogs. Yeah.
So you guys are doing a lot of calisthenics then, right?
Yeah, so the idea is give them something that you can just do with your body weight, no equipment, at home without a lot of space or equipment. And something that's the workout itself sort of starts from the top and goes down so that you're getting almost a full body workout.
Man, I really love that idea, because you're not only are you teaching them to take care of yourself, you're giving them the tools for the future, teaching them something that they can always fall back on no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll see them as they start to get better at it and they start to remember, they get excited about the workout, which is
Sam's getting our youth a little shredded. Yeah. Sam, we have a comment in the chat. They said, Vivid Anubis says, "Oh no, not the plank kicks, please no." And Doc Shippy says, tacos is taking care of yourself, taking care of your spirit.
Hey Doc, let me tell you, I just got done eating a taco bowl too, alright? I'm supposed to be cutting right now, but it's kind of hard, right?
So Sam, so let's keep talking about some more of the activities. So you said we have a gaming lesson. Talk about that. What does that mean for what does that mean for the kids, like a gaming lesson? Are you doing how to game properly, how to interact? Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, so before we get into that, it's important to understand how the program works.
Okay.
So I'll just explain that a little bit. So first, before you're allowed into the Discord and you're into the main program itself, you have to go through orientation. Orientation basically explains, what we are, who we are, why we're doing it, and why you should be a part of it. So that way, everyone who's already a part of this, everyone who's already in the community, doesn't have to worry about any new people not knowing how to handle themselves, how to interact with other people. So we want to give them this week of orientation to really introduce them to the ideas behind why we exist, meaning hybrid, not humans. So the orientation has structured lessons, and the camp itself has a badge system. Where they pick which badge they want to pursue. Every badge has its own specific requirements, and we help them along through those requirements.
What are how many badges do you have, and what are they?
So there's 56 badges right now, and they're broken into 6 categories. Those categories are health and wellness, fitness, citizenship, recreation, digital literacy, and obviously gaming.
Okay. Now,
I got a question for you. How did you guys come up with the idea to add in badges in this whole entire scenario?
That's a great question, Griff.
So There's a lot of backstory to that. But to sum it up, I realized that there was just so much that I wanted to give, and I wasn't sure how to give it to them in like the right order. And after a while, I sort of realized if I give them the power to choose the order themselves, then it'll, one, keep them more interested and engaged, and two, it'll give them the opportunity to like create their own program.
So you just let them go out on their independent way and just let them go after what they want.
They get to
That's a
choose
pretty
their
good
own path.
idea, man. I give you that.
So yeah, and then the first thing that came to mind was the Boy Scouts. Because I know they do the badges and the ranks and stuff. I don't know anything about the Boy Scouts, but I hit up a friend of mine who was like one level below Eagle. I don't remember what it was called. And he was telling me all about it and like how the Boy Scouts work and stuff. So I started to pull a little bit like, what can I learn from them? What can I apply to this? And how can I put my own spin on it?
I was a Boy Scout myself growing up, Sam. I think I made it to, I don't remember exactly the name, but I remember the badge had a panda on it. I thought that was kind of cool. So I definitely know a little bit about like doing the summer camp stuff and earning badges and things like that, and like going up through the ranks. You said that you mentioned about structure. Are you kind of like implementing like the same similar structure that the scouts would be doing, or a little bit different, like resolved around gaming and things like that?
Sorry, can you elaborate a little bit? What do you mean?
I mean, like, so you said that you put in structure into your camp. So kind of just like the Boy Scouts, is there like a full itinerary all day long of things and how to earn the badges and things like that?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, so whenever I looked into the Boy Scouts a little bit more, and the Boy Scouts is more like someone volunteers to become a troop leader, and then this troop leader now checks that the scouts have performed the requirements and rewards them the badge.
Okay.
But it seems like, and you said you know a little bit about the Boy Scouts, so correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like the students will mostly do these badge requirements on their own, and the troop leader mostly just like awards the badge upon completion.
It's a little bit of both. Yeah, I'd say just a little bit of both, but primarily you are correct, awarding it upon completion. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the idea here is that they would complete them during camp, so that we can help them along in the process.
And how long is your summer camp?
So you sign up for 1 week.
Okay.
But if you were to go through the entire program and get every badge, it would average 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to, Griffin, I know you had some questions as well. I kind of wanted to move the conversation to a little bit of your background. Sam, did you go to college? Did you have a background in gaming, things like that?
Yeah. Wow, those are two very different questions.
Sorry, I should say, did you do video game like design, development, anything like that?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, actually, whenever it comes to gaming, my experience was I was a gamer, and I joined a gaming group in college. So gaming for me when I was a kid, we grew up super poor, and I was actually talking to Griffin a little bit about this before we started. My family is super poor. I'm a first-generation college student, and gaming was a way for my parents and me to save money. So they gave me a console basically to like occupy me. And I spent my time as a kid going outside playing. I was super into skateboarding, and then coming back home and just playing video games until I passed out. And as I got older, I started to like get this idea in my head, and you guys have probably heard this, that gaming is a total waste of time. So I started to, I guess, like embody that.
Okay.
I hear it so much that like it became a part of my own thinking that like, okay, this is sort of a waste of time. I need to do something else in my life. So I just completely dropped it and put it away, and I didn't touch video games for like 6 years.
Okay.
Then, and this ties into your college now, I finally got into college at the age of, let's see, it was 2016. So I was 24 when I got in. And obviously there's a whole lot of story that we skipped over to get there. But,
That's all right, yeah.
I was 24 when I got into college, and I got in on urban design. I thought I wanted to be a city planner.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought I wanted to be a city planner, and one summer I had to do an internship. And I went to the city building where like they have all the city planners here, and they're all doing their work. And like I wanted to go in and interview this like big name person and like see if I could work my way in. Before I even got to that meeting, I sort of looked around and looked at the people who were doing the job that I was, in line to do, and I just felt wrong. It didn't feel like it was where I was supposed to be. It was the cubicle life.
Yeah.
And that was always something that I absolutely hated.
The kind of being stuck in the box and, it just wasn't for you, you'd say?
Yeah,
Sam,
exactly.
it's kind of funny you say that. I'm stuck in a cubicle right now. I work on the front desk.
We're all kind of stuck in a cubicle now. I haven't left this room in like, I don't know, a couple of months.
Sam, so I have another two-part question for you. One comes from me. Which college did you attend to?
University of Texas.
University of Texas in Austin. Okay, cool. The second question we got came from Vivid Anubis. He says, does Sam have any tips for college? I'm looking to go to a university next year.
Tips for how to get in?
Yeah, Vivid, would you mind putting in the chat, elaborate on your question a little bit, and then we can always come back to that. But yeah, so you said you had the video games, you're playing a lot in college and things like that. How did you just kind of incorporate that into your everyday work life? Was it just a smooth transition, or like?
So after I realized that I didn't really want to do this job, I was super into rock climbing at the time. I still am, but can't go to the gym, so I haven't gone in a while. I was at the rock climbing gym, and I was staring at the wall, and I had just recently started to get back into video games as a way of saving money, because it's college, or you're going to go out, you're going to spend a bunch of money, and I wanted to like keep myself away from that. So I just recently got back into video games, and I'm at the rock climbing gym, and I'm sitting on the floor, and I'm staring at the wall, and I'm thinking, what do I want to do with my life? Because I don't think that what I'm doing in college right now is it. And then all of a sudden it just hit me, like, I'm staring at it. I love physical activity, and I love playing video games. It's like the only thing that's like a constant in my life are those two things. I always play video games, and I always go to the gym, and whenever they do leave my life, I always find a way to bring them back.
So Sam,
yeah, go ahead.
I see how you got the idea now, how you came up with the idea, and that was going to be one of my leading questions. But so you made me think about it. How did you exactly think that you wanted to work with the youth? And where did you get that reasoning from?
That was actually a teacher at school.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So after I had this little epiphany moment, I joined the college gaming group. It's called Longhorn Gaming. And I switched my major to exercise science. As a part of that exercise science degree, I had to take an elective, applied movement science, children's movement. And when I was in children's movement, one of the professors, there was a professor and an assistant professor, they noticed that I was super involved and I really engaged with the material. So they invited me to apply to get my teacher's certificate. And at first I was super hesitant.
You got your teacher's certificate, and you never worked with the kids before or anything like that?
Right.
Wow.
We went through training.
Right.
But yeah, they were like, listen, we see that you like this stuff. Why don't you come over here, take these courses, learn how to be a teacher, and just try it out. Just see what you think. And I was like, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. And I had worked like as a coach before. I was a gymnastics coach. I was a kickboxing coach. I did MMA coaching for a little while, but that was sort of like in between job on the weekends. So I was like, all right, I've got a little bit of experience. I am interested in this stuff. Let's just see what happens. And I loved it. I became a PE teacher.
The whole idea together.
Yeah.
It came through. I like that. It's a good story.
So Sam, the question that I had for you mainly, if I was a parent, what is the big incentive for my kid to, what is he gonna get at the end of this? At the end of your camp, what kind of experience is he gonna get out of it?
That's a huge question. So the way I see all right, let's start with the bullet points. The 3 big things that I want to achieve, the 3 main goals that I have for this is 1, making the gaming community a better place. 2, it's inviting more people to experience this thing that is already such a huge influence on so many lives. And 3, it's creating the infrastructure and the pipelines to help people who are interested in this find education and careers in the field.
Okay. Wow, that's very intense. Do you ever get any kids that are really interested in interactive design or game development, things like that? Do they kind of talk to you like, hey, Mr. Sam, I want to go into video games that way, or what are kind of the aspirations that they have?
No, it's pretty across the board.
Okay.
So you get a lot of kids who are like, I want to be streamers because now that's a career.
It can be, yeah. Definitely a career now, yeah.
So you get a lot of, I want to be a streamer, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a content creator. There's definitely a lot of that going on. I want to be a pro player. That's another huge one.
Okay.
And then you get more STEAM oriented who I want to design games or I want to be a programmer.
Okay.
So it's pretty across the board, yeah.
Are there any...
Projector too. I just coming from where we came from, our generation, from the PS1, the PS2, and all that. There wasn't that many career opportunities. I'm gonna hit on something that you talked about. I went through my phase too. I thought video games were a waste of time, but the opportunities available now to this younger generation and to us as well through these streaming accommodations and whatnot. Graphic design, all that. It's amazing to see how that evolved over time. And I think what your hybrid is doing is really great for setting it up.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I would have to 100% agree with Griffin. And Sam, I know that we talked about it before stream. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that kids don't really understand how good they have it with technology right now. And I would like to speak for a lot of people our age and say that, they would have to agree with me on that, because I still struggle with learning things. I still struggle with some video games. I still struggle with the internet sometimes, because I not necessarily I grew up that we learned it at very different and at a much older age. These kids are born into everyone having an iPhone, everyone having a PlayStation, everyone having an Xbox. Yeah. What is the difference? How do you see it when these kids that you're interacting with? Where did you start noticing the difference between are they more sharp with these things, or do they pick things up quicker?
Okay. So one of the big things I realized, and it's sort of partly where the badge idea came from, is that a lot of people are taking this idea that there's this, esports is such a hot button topic now. It's like a buzzword, and everybody wants to talk about their esports startup and their esports team, and because of that, that wave, there are starting to pop up a lot of these camps.
Okay.
And I'm noticing that the way that people are approaching education in this field is the same way they approach education and everything else. And I don't think that it works here. I think that here, the kids who are into this stuff are really self-motivated and independent.
Okay.
A lot of them know more than we do about this stuff, and
I don't believe it. I really don't. I mean, I was saying I would believe you, and because I am flabbergasted sometimes with how quickly and some of the knowledge that they have with not just computers but video games in general. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
You remember what we talked about earlier, Sam, about how my dad used to be the older brother that would beat the game that I couldn't beat, and then he plays Siege with us now, and now I'm having to tell him what to do. It's just amazing seeing those generations evolve. Now I'm going to be on the flip side of the table trying to teach my kids someday, hey, can you beat this for me?
Yeah, exactly. My brain explodes thinking about what the future holds.
So Sam, you mentioned esports. Does your camp offer some esports training or things like that?
So esports, again, I think that the way that you want to approach these things is it's going to be different than anything we've ever seen.
Okay.
And I don't think that there's anybody who's doing it perfect right now. And I don't think I will ever achieve perfection in the way that I run these programs. But I'm trying to take a lot of time and get as close to perfect as I can, at least.
Okay.
In developing a new way of educating on esports specifically. And I'm calling that the Hybrid Academy. And I expect that to open in 2021. And that'll be esports and gaming career focused.
Oh, wow.
So you have more projects in line for your hybrid other than just the summer camps. You have more training opportunities and whatnot available.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And the academy will be for the older age group, 15 to 17.
Okay, a little bit more serious gaming. Yeah. Would you consider opening up some esports stuff like into your camp now to like kind of maybe get some of your younger kids interested in that to come to the hybrid? What'd you call it? I'm sorry, the esports one, the hybrid
academy.
Hybrid academy. Would you have like maybe introduce them to that at your regular hybrid camp?
Yeah. So in the gaming badge category, in every badge category actually there's subcategories.
Okay.
And in the gaming badge category, the subcategories we have right now are casual play, competitive play, creative play, and careers.
Okay.
Griffin's smiling.
Yeah, man, this feels a lot like Pokemon. You know, I'm running through all these gyms and whatnot, collecting the badges and whatnot.
Yes.
I
which one you want to fight? Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Dude, I actually thought about that. I was like, I wonder if I could do like, maybe I give them like little characters where like they have like Pokemon, right? I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want
to just have like a hybrid theme park and just put it like, you know, the whole entire city.
Well, Sam, you have this entire video game world open to you and things like that, and you could really do. You are doing something a little unprecedented right now because you are doing it from the ground up. You're doing your own program and badges. I've seen like the online ads that say, "Hey, do you serious about esports? Come down to the local mall," and stuff like that. Obviously, you're doing something a little bit more, a little different than that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So one last question we had for you, and everyone knows Gamer Interrupted was started because of this awful global bastard, the coronavirus, and it was a way for us to escape and offer a sense of community to everyone that came by the stream and things like that. But the one thing I was wanting to know is how has Corona affected you? Like right at the start, did you guys have to say, let's cancel? Could we move in? Like how did it affect you as a whole?
Yeah. So we sort of touched on it earlier. It did hit us. We had plans to do this all in person.
Yeah.
But we moved to a virtual program, and the transition was pretty easy. I still want to do the in-person. I think in-person is still the ideal way to handle this, especially because gaming is still blocked behind a paywall.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take these programs and you put them in LAN centers, which is basically just a big computer room, then people who can't afford high-end gaming PCs can now participate too.
Oh, wow.
And coming from a poor background, I want to be able to provide these opportunities for anybody, no matter how much money they have in the bank account. And diversity is another huge issue in the gaming world. So there's a lot to tackle there.
I was gonna bring up, do you definitely have more boys than you do have girls, or is it kind of evened out now?
Actually, we have more girls.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. I wonder if my branding has anything to do with that. The logo is 3 colorful hearts.
Okay.
That might be it. I'm not a rocket scientist yet, but that might be it.
So before we wrap up this portion of the interview, Griffin, did you have any other questions for Sam?
Yes, Sam. I just want to know, like, how did you exactly get started into hybrid? I know you talked about having your epiphany, staring at the rock wall, and then you were a teacher or whatnot. Was there any other influence upon that, or was it just that rock wall?
Yeah, so the rock wall epiphany was that I want to do something in the gaming world, but I wasn't sure what yet. I knew my first step was to get back into the community.
Yeah. How did you do that?
I joined Longhorn Gaming at the University of Texas.
Oh wow.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
And Sam, what kind of video games were you playing? And at the time, like, what's some of your favorite games? And they kind of gave you the influence.
Yeah, actually, one of the first games that pushed me back into it was Destiny.
Okay.
Destiny. That's
Yeah.
always a good one too.
I was super into Halo. I loved Bungie. So it's like, you
Rip.
know, whenever that dropped, yeah.
Rip.
sad.
What games are the kids playing at your summer camp? Are they a lot of the free to plays like Destiny 2?
Yeah, so part of orientation that first week to introduce them to what we do is introducing them to games outside of their norm. So we start every day as a different game type, a different game genre.
Okay.
So on Monday we do shooters, and we'll jump into Overwatch.
Nice.
On Tuesday
Dude, I'm
we
about to
do
join this
MOBAs.
camp, AJ.
I know. I was telling him before the stream, why didn't I have this when I was freaking
I know.
growing up, man?
Oh, it ties in perfectly with Griffin's question. Why didn't you have this when you were a kid? I asked myself the same question.
Right.
And then I joined these groups, and I was like, there's a lot that still needs to be developed. There's
Great
a
idea.
lot that still needs to be created to make this something. Because, like, I'm about to go, like, crazy.
Dude, go on the soapbox. That's why you're here, man. Do it.
When I was in this, well, let me finish up the orientation week first. So
All
we
right.
start with shooters and we do Overwatch. So we want to still try to create this like social experience, when possible, right? So we don't just say, you know, go play a solo match of, you know, whatever game you have. Get on for Overwatch. If you can't afford Overwatch, we can play Paladins, which is a similar game. And let's try to make this a team experience. So, Monday we're doing Overwatch. Tuesday we do League of Legends. If you're on a Mac, we play Dota 2. And then Wednesday we do card games. So we do Legends of Runeterra. And then again, if you're on a Mac, we play Hearthstone. So it goes back to that idea of like diversity. We want everybody to try to be a part of this. Gaming is not just for people who have Windows devices. A lot of gaming is right here on your phone now.
I wish that somebody had told me that as a kid, because I definitely like shifted focus a lot. I would like stick in one genre for a long time, and I feel like I missed out on a lot of stuff. Do you notice that with some of your kids that come in, do they kind of do the same thing?
Absolutely, yeah. And Fortnite is a big culprit.
Oh, Fortnite.
I'm just
They
get on that
just
again.
sucked in. They love Fortnite. And don't get me wrong, like we talked about this a little bit. Like I know there's a lot of, you know, Fortnite is a divisive game. Personally, I like it. I think it has a lot of problems. I think
My biggest
I don't want to
issue,
get too
yeah.
political, but I feel like it has some improvements can be made on the pay structure.
Mhm.
I feel like it does trick kids into like wanting to be a part of this like material structure, right?
No.
And it forces them to like want to go buy stuff.
Well,
And
it's interesting that you bring that up, Sam, because we've definitely talked about the loot boxing and the gambling and things like that on the stream. Now, do you kind of, when you're in the summer camp, do you kind of tell your kids about like the dangers behind this and how, you know, how dangerous it can be and things like that? Because
Yeah,
it really
so
is children gambling.
yeah. Well, yes. Anyways,
It made him think. It made him think. It made me think. I promise you, AJ.
there's like my brain just shot off in like 4 different
Right.
paths do I go down here. So one of the badges is digital literacy, and then one of the subcategories for digital literacy is oh my god, sorry, I had a brain fart. Consumer health.
Consumer health, okay.
Yeah. So digital literacy is the main badge category. Then the subcategory for that is consumer health, and we talk about exactly what you're talking about right now.
That's amazing.
How do these companies try to target you? How do they try to encourage you to spend your money on their products? How are you being a target? What are you doing on the internet that makes you a target? All that stuff.
Wow, that is incredible education, Sam. Can I say that is absolutely incredible education that you're offering our youth right now?
Yeah, thank you.
Now, the last question I had for you before we move on to the news topics, is your camp, now that because you are doing remote, can anyone outside of Texas or outside of Austin join the camp right now?
Because it's virtual, yes. People
Okay.
outside of Texas can join. But we are on Central Time.
Okay.
So I tried to make that apparent on the website, but if at any point you see a time, it is in Central.
And do you have aspirations to keep this open to other people, or when things go, if and when things go back to normal?
Yeah, I think the virtual camp has opened my eyes to some of the possibilities.
Okay.
And I definitely see what would basically be like this large network of like local hubs all connected by the same virtual space. So like locally rooted, but nationally connected.
I love that. Absolutely.
I like that.
So Abigail13, she was commenting in the chat. She's about the children gambling. She said it's like the Vegas slots for kids. And Vivid Anubis says, I'm guilty of that. Me and Griffin spent a lot of money on GTA Online.
I was laughing at that. I got my office spray in that game.
Didn't someone ask a question?
Yes, so that was just the next question I was coming to. Vivid Anubis, he said just kind of get some tips and tricks of getting into college and some, just some of the experiences of getting in. Could you kind of maybe just give us what you did when you got into college, like applying for it, things like that? Just give us an overall quick how-to on what your experience was.
Yeah, so I actually started in a community college.
Okay.
When I was in high school, I did not care about school at all.
I think a lot of us could agree with you on that.
Yeah. I did not realize that I was a good student until I had already gotten into college. Being a student is a skill. Like, you have to learn how to be a student. And I don't think anybody ever told me that when I was in high school. I thought I was just dumb or something. I didn't really try, and I had to get my first job when I was 15, which was the age that I was able to. And I had a really unstable household.
Mm-hmm.
So school was like one of the last things on my mind. After I started to get myself together and I moved out of the house, and future years down the road, then I started to go to community college because it was cheap and easy to get in. I got my GPA back up, and when I applied to school, I'm pretty sure I got in on one, I improved my GPA. I think it was a 3.6 when I applied. And two, my special circumstances letters. So when you apply, tell people about the struggles that you had to go through, because what you've done, what you've experienced is different than anybody else on the planet. And especially if those things are, really, blocking to what you're capable of, they know that. The people who are reading your applications know that. Oh, this person, had a bad childhood. That has probably affected this and blah, blah, blah. And it's all connected. And the people who are reading your stuff, they're in there for a reason. That's a job that you have to get hired to do.
I agree, yeah.
Applications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so my tip would be to understand where you come from and play to your strengths.
Thank you so much for that. It was a very humble and knowledgeable experience that you were able to share, and I hope that answers your question, Vivid. Anyone else would like to ask a question in the chat? We're going to roll on to the news here, but feel free to keep commenting on anything that you like. We always appreciate that. We encourage that in the chat. Vivid just quickly said, are you able to retake ACT tests? From what I understand, I don't remember. It was a long time ago for me. But Griffin, I know we want to start with the news right now for our last little bit. Tell us about the latest game releasing. I know you're really excited about this, Ghosts of Tsushima.
So, I've been looking at this game ever since what's that one? Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice came out.
Yes, sir.
I got those two games confused, AJ. Right? I was like, man, why is this like Dark Souls? And then it just finally released. I have not picked up a copy yet, but
neither have I, not yet.
Yeah, it's coming though. My buddy, he picked it up and I watched him play the other day, man. And it's just beautiful, man. If you actually look at the graphics and the time and the design they put into it, it's just a different type of samurai game. And you know, me and you coming from Japan,
yes,
you know,
yeah.
You know, I tell everybody I'm half Asian now, so.
Definitely a part of your heritage now. But no, we talked on the stream last week, Sam, about how gorgeous this game is, and you know, a lot of people are looking forward to the mystery behind it. What are some of the things that you've seen so far?
Honestly, I've only seen clips on Twitter and
okay.
everybody talking about how amazing it is. I've added it to my list. It's now in the top 3 next play games.
Okay.
So I'm super excited to get into it.
What I wanted to bring up primarily about Ghost of Tsushima was the 3 different view modes that are available to play in. You have, Griff, I know you were talking about it. You want to elaborate a little bit on that?
So I do know about them. They are you get the Japanese, you get the dub version, and then they have this black and white version, apparently. And I've never seen that in a video game before. You know, they wanted to actually make it to where you can play through different play styles and whatnot. And I didn't know about that till literally last night. I was watching my friend play it, and he was telling me that the next time he goes through, he's going to put on the black and white version. I said, "What are you talking about?" You know, and I was like, "Man, damn, they really did a good job on this game."
Have you seen the kind of the old world style being able to play that, Sam?
Yeah, I did. I heard about that. And honestly, I think it's really cool. I think it's cool to see how you can take this experience of a video game and turn it into like this really engaging, like cinema-like experience.
I was gonna say a lot of things, and I think attest that to Sony Studios and PlayStation Studios. They do wonderful at the storytelling and the cinematics of the game. Sometimes I forget I'm playing a game. I think I'm watching TV.
Yeah.
A good game like that that's actually like a movie. Me and Vivid Anubis just actually played it. It's called Man of Medan.
Man of Medan, yeah.
Yeah, Man of Medan.
A lot of story based.
It's a short game. We beat it in like 3 hours, but you know what?
You had a good time, right?
Yeah, we were trying to get past the Somali pirates, and we could never beat them.
Damn, I definitely want to try looking at that old world style too, Griffin. I have to agree with you. When I pick that up, I might even just as soon as I pick it up, start playing it in that mode first. I think that's what I might do. So another topic we have tonight, Sam. We said that there was a possibility. There's some rumors in the sphere that they said Fable was coming back, and then Xbox went ahead today and confirmed it. Are you excited about Fable? I know I am. I almost lost my mind.
Yeah. That was one of the games that like I got super hooked on. Was Fable. I loved it. Yeah.
Fable was an amazing game.
I enjoyed Fable, especially the last one. It's a revolution out there. I loved that so much. I had a lot of fun with Fable, and I'm really looking forward to what Xbox, especially the newer Xbox, what they'll be able to do with Fable. Oh man, it's just a crazy world that we live in right now.
More advanced. More advanced.
We've got Joe Rogan, the commentator of the UFC, and also he has his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. It's quite interesting from the things that I've listened to, a little bit more risque than what I'm used to. But he has said, Griffin, that he doesn't want to commentate in UFC 4 this year. He says it's a waste of time.
Joe Rogan's a rich man now. I just got into MMA and everything, and you know, I've watched a little bit of UFC. Not much. I'm not big into watching all the fights, but I'll play the hell out of the UFC 3. Vivid Anubis got me stuck on it. But yeah, he said he's not going to commentate in UFC 4, and I read some backstories on it. He said it's just a waste of his time, and he's rich, so I mean, shit, he can do whatever he wants. But I will interject there and tell you something funny though. UFC does not need Joe Rogan to actually make that game complete. In UFC 3, they interjected Snoop Dogg as a commentator. I shit you not, AJ. Oh, it's a knockout mode, and
I've seen it. I've heard it. It is hysterical.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
Hilarious. So if they did something like that in UFC 4, you know, Joe Rogan not being there is not really going to affect the game as much, in my opinion.
How about you, Sam? What do you think?
I think it depends on what kind of a player you are, what kind of a fan you are. Because Daniel Cormier, the guy who's now replacing Joe Rogan, if I understood correctly.
Yes, sir.
He's a UFC vet.
Yeah, multiple-time heavyweight champion, yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to probably have a lot more, like, what's the word? Technical commentary.
Yeah.
As opposed to Joe Rogan was very like, whoa, like loud and energetic.
The more of the animation, the animator behind it, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to UFC 4. I think it's, like I mentioned last week, it kind of blurs the line between fighting and simulation, and UFC, you guys do a wonderful job at doing that. Moving on, right then we have Ubisoft. They went ahead and said today, Sam, that they are going to stick at $60. They're not going to inflate their prices. Is this going to hurt them? Is this going to be beneficial for them? Give me your thoughts.
Griffin, you want to go first?
I'll go first. On this one.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if you guys heard me, if we cut out or something.
Yeah, so Ubisoft, I don't know about you guys, but Ubisoft has been good to me. I respect Ubisoft and everything they've done. Everything from Assassin's Creed all the way to Siege. You know, I'm a big fan. Far Cry. I'm a big fan of Far Cry. And whenever they put in that Ubisoft Rewards program where you can just go in there and you can redeem credits for their achievement, I thought that was brilliant. You know, so I will definitely still buy Ubisoft games at $60 if they're gonna sell them at $60. You know, I don't think they'll have too many problems. They have so much of a market criteria now. You know, they're not really gonna be worried about competing with EA. You know how I feel about EA.
You know how we all on this channel feel about EA.
You know, give me them loot crates or something.
Yeah.
No, I think Ubisoft's gonna be all right. I really do.
I'd agree with you, Adams. What do you? Or sorry, going back, I just had a flashback to military right there. I called you by your last name. Sorry, Griff. Sam, what are your thoughts on Ubisoft?
Yeah, I think I'm with Adams. I don't think it's gonna negatively impact
He did
them
it
at all.
too. Oh yeah, I don't think so. I'm looking forward to all of their releases. I think it's going to be super sweet. And hey, my opinion.
The rest of the podcast, by the way.
My opinion, though, kudos to Ubisoft for being ahead of the line and saying, you know what, yeah, people have been talking about inflation, but fuck y'all, we're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's temporary, though, right?
I hope so. Yeah. I think eventually.
Down the time.
Yeah.
Down the time.
Down the time. Yeah. Inevitably, it might happen. Yeah. So we have. Oh, go ahead, Griff. I'm sorry.
I remember video games, PlayStation 2 days, man. I would just go get my birthday money and it'd be like $50 for a brand new game. I mean, even back in PS1, you know, it was like $20 for a brand new game at Walmart. You know, so it's always inflated. So I don't imagine that they'll stay at $60 for, you know, more than a few years, a couple at most.
Yeah.
But I still like that competitive strategy, though. You know,
I think
more fans.
I think they'll do all right. And Vivid Anubis agrees with us. He says Ubi gets their money from cosmetics, almost as bad as Rockstar, but
I will give them that. I will give them that.
When it comes to like pricing out the games, I'm actually in the ballpark of I think they should just raise the price of the games.
Really?
Because it's like this it's this idea.
Counter opinion.
How dare you raise the price of a video game that has given rise to things like loot boxes? Because they need to find some other source of revenue.
They really do.
To be able to keep putting out these, because like it used to be like a game was like a couple of months. You put it out, here you go, here's your copy, and then you don't ever, you know, the developers don't have a hand in it after that. Now it takes years to put together one of these things.
Yes,
you have
sir.
like studios that are like 100 times the size of what they used to be, and they have to continue to put out updates and turn it into like this games as a service model, right?
You're very right in that aspect.
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, that it possibly...
If we want to try to kill like these loot box things, unfortunately, I think some of these games are going to have to go up in price, especially with the next gen consoles coming out.
I do agree with you that the inevitable is coming. I just hope that it comes a little later than we expected.
DLC instead. That's another big topic, DLC.
Almost fell on my chair. All right, guys, so we are coming down to our top 5 of the week. And this top 5 segment, we are going to do our top 5 E for Everyone games because Mr. Sam works with kids, and we want to know his thoughts on that. So I'll start us off. My number 5 favorite E for Everyone game. This should not be a surprise to most if you're listening. Animal Crossing. You have done wonders in the video game world. This year alone, you changed my life personally with Animal Crossing. I loved it. Nintendo, I can't give you enough praise for that. That's just me, though. Number 5 for you, Griffin.
Number 5 for me, man. This list took forever to compose. I remember always playing those E for Everyone games. But I do remember the original Spider-Man. Do you remember that at the PS1?
I do, yeah.
Stan Lee, yeah.
With the narration of Stan Lee, yeah.
Yep, yeah, to fight Scorpion and everything like that.
That was a good one.
Yeah, what about you, Sam?
All right. So was I supposed to rank these in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or would just give 5 games?
I guess. I mean, it's up to you. Number 1 should be your favorite. Yeah, but.
All right, cool. I can do that in my head really quick.
All right.
So number 5, Super Mario 64.
Yes. Okay. Yes. How come?
Probably
What's
just for
the?
the nostalgic value? To
Yeah.
Be honest.
What I loved about N64, it was the first introductory of that camera, of the 3D view camera, and I really enjoy that. A lot of game developers and games have come from that and continue to teach that now. Number 4 for me, let's see, that would probably have to be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the N64. I loved that so much. The platformer style is what I'm talking about, and I thought it was good, just enough. I was way into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, we grew up 6 years old in the 90s. Who's not in love with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
That's how I got Vanilla Ice too.
Number 4 for you. Four for you, Griffin.
It'd be Spyro, man. You can't put Spyro.
No.
You can't.
My
Yeah.
list is shattered.
Oh no!
I could not put that on here. The Spyro. I remember playing that. I was too. Like I said, I come from. We weren't really poor. We were middle class, but we didn't have no Spyro. We didn't have no PlayStation. We had to go to my buddy's house to play Spyro, dude. I always wanted to fucking play it.
So bad. I should have thought of Spyro.
That's a good one.
I'm just gonna walk out. I can't.
How about you, Dan? Or not Dan, I called you Dan. I'm sorry. How about you, Sam? What's your next game for us?
My number 4 is Mario Kart.
Ooh, which one? Which version?
The original 64 one.
Okay.
Me and my relatives have so many hours pumped into that game. It was always the thing that you could come back to and play with your friends and have a good time, like no matter what was going on.
Yes, sir. I think me and you must have been on the same wavelength, because for me also, I really enjoyed Mario Kart on the N64. It was kind of the first introduction for me with racing games. So I guess that would be my number 3, Mario Kart as well. Give us your number 3, Griffin.
Number 3, I had to go a little bit modern for this, and like I said, you know, I was raised on like Twisted Metal and all that. Just one, so it was really hard to contemplate this. But one game that I moderately play, and it's in the modern era, is Minecraft. I had to put that on here.
Yes, I'm glad you do. I don't think we've gone a podcast where we haven't talked about Minecraft and how wonderful it is.
Game. You know, they made it so well, you know, and it's because I come from Legos, AJ. I come from Legos, you know, and I love Legos. To this day, I'll play with Legos. But the fact that I can play with Legos virtually almost is amazing to me.
What about you, Sam? What do you got for us?
Minecraft is definitely a special mention for me. It didn't make the top 5 quite, but it was definitely on the list.
What was your number 3 there?
My number 3, I'm gonna go a little more modern too, with Gris.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Could you elaborate on that one?
Gris is like it's a story without words. You play through it.
Oh wow!
It's about it's a story of loss and grief and how to handle the loss of a loved one, and it's really artistic and powerful. And I definitely cried playing that game, and not a single word was spoken the whole time.
Wow, that sounds really intense. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That sounds wild. What about you, Jay? What's your second?
Ooh, for me, number 2, I'm gonna have to rein that in at Pokemon Omega Ruby. That one, I don't know if you remember, Adams, but on our first deployments, I was on the DS always. When we had free time, I was in there.
I remember that. I remember being on a little space, man.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
I was getting in my little corner and just in there, just on it. Yeah, that's how I kept busy.
I can't remember what I was playing, man, but it was Madrazo got me on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fire Emblem. That's what it was.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. I wanted to bring in some like old RPGs that I used to play, like Final Fantasy, but I looked up the ratings and they were all teen.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust me.
Give us your number 2, Adams.
Number 2, man. Y'all, Need for Speed Underground 2.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes.
Everybody and their mom has played Need for Speed Underground 2 at least once.
I think that was just such an iconic Need for Speed, man.
Exactly. It's so nostalgic.
Go Griffin is speaking to my heart, man. Every game so far has been like, how did I forget that one?
Research, you know, I had to, you know, it was hard compiling this list.
That's why we love this segment, man. Number 2 for you, Sam.
Number 2 for me was Hollow Knight.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a platformer. It's super modern, but it's
One
kind
of-
a callback to some of the older platformers, and you have like the abilities and the gems, and like it's a 2D side scroller platformer thing.
Do you see? Do you participate with any of the cosplay with that one? A lot of cosplay with that one. No. All right, guys. So my number 1, Lego Star Wars, the Phantom Menace. I loved it.
It was a good game. It was.
Phantom Menace was one of my favorite games of all time. And my favorite movies of all time. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I really like it. And the Lego game was really fun. I played it probably on everything back then. I played it now. It's never not stopped being fun. Number 1 for you, Adams.
So I had a runner-up here, you know, and they redid this game recently. SpongeBob for
Ooh, yeah!
Battle of Bikini Bottom. That was not my number 1, though. My number 1 will be far the best game I've ever played is Ratchet and Clank series. Any one of them. That is my bread and butter, and I will always play those games. As a matter of fact, exactly. I was about to get into that, and I will be getting the PS5 for that.
If you stream it, I will watch. Absolutely.
I'll give you my Twitch, all right?
Yes, sir.
Go to the Gaming Academy.
Yes, sir. So, Sam, give us your number 1 game.
My number 1 is probably on a lot of people's lists, at least in the top 5. And it's the first game I ever truly fell in love with. And it's Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good game.
Changed my life.
I think there's so many people out there that would say that, yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys, so that is coming down to the end of our stream. We went through our top 5 segment. As always, we've had Hybrid, the ATX Summer Camp, Mr. Samuel Gonzalez with us. Is there anything you'd like to say, Sam, while we wrap up the stream here?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank you for having me on. This was honestly a lot of fun.
Yes, we loved it.
Yeah, if you guys weren't on a 1 hour time thing, I mean, I probably could have kept going for another hour, maybe 2. But to anybody in chat who's watching, I know that I'm pretty sure I have ADD. I've never been tested before. But if there were some questions that I didn't actually answer, you can hit me up in the DMs and I will get to them, I promise.
Abigail13 says, this was such a good live. Thank you so much, Abigail. Coach1376 says, great show, guys. Adams, or Griffin, anything else that you'd like to say tonight? Wrap it up.
Man, like I was telling him, man, my theory in streaming was bringing my dad into it. And, you know, I love the fact that you're getting kids to play video games while teaching them, you know, important life lessons. Dude, I'm a true believer in your dream. And honestly, I'm kind of jealous. I wish I would have thought of it. But, dude, I wasted so much time.
3 years in the making.
I wasted so much time in my teenage years just sitting on a couch in my summer days playing video games. And it's just amazing what you're doing with those kids. And something to look up to.
All right, guys, so I'm going to fade us now to our shout-outs page. And as of always, thank you always to ROE Gaming in Havelock, North Carolina, where we enter the game or got our start. Just Joby Gaming, who we had by last week. She's doing YouTube stuff now and a lot of good streams. And as well, the Hybrid ATX Summer Camp. We'll add you to our list of shout-outs now. Also, guys, if you want to check this episode and other ones out, head to the Apple and Podbean and search ETG Actual, and you'll be able to see or hear this podcast later whenever you'd like. Our VIP fan for the month is King Scuba Steve. I love King Scuba, great Twitch guy. Make sure you guys check him out sometime. And our newest fans, we have Pendally, K Harsh 2001, and Jamie Milne 17. Thank you guys for the new follows. We really appreciate that. Also, guys, do us a favor and head to on Sunday nights. At what time, Griffin, are you streaming on Sundays?
Sundays, 4 o'clock. Sunday Fun Day with Dad.
Sunday Fun Day.
We're trying to make Dad better at Siege.
Is he doing?
Is that the name of the channel? Sunday.
You know,
Funday
he's
with Doug.
doing really good. No, it's ETG Actual will be the name of it, but the description's Sunday Fun Day with Dad.
Sunday Fun Day. Yes, sir. So look forward to that. Come hang out with Adams or Griffin on Sunday. The question I want people to ask you this week, Griffin, is what is your favorite ice cream of all time? So look forward to that in the chat. Yes, sir. We're going to be rating a friend of the channel. Her name is Ghost of Alice, and she's playing Xenoblade Chronicles. So if you guys are stuck with us, we really appreciate it. Head over, say hey to her, and I really appreciate everything and you guys coming by. Please don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow. It's been wonderful. My name is AJ East Coast, and this is Gamer Interrupted. Have a good night, guys. And we are going to start our raid. And we are